Welcome po sa inyong lahat. Welcome to Lira in Law. At this Thursday evening, 11th of October, 11th of April, broadcasting live as usual po from London, England, every Thursday evening between 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. talking about legal issues that concern you. Ako pong host nyo. I'm your host, Lira Simon Kabatbat. I'm a practicing solicitors with Douglas Simon Solicitors. We are lawyers nga in London, England. Established for over 25 years. God, over 25 years. And it gets worse or it gets better depending on how you look at it. I'm a solicitor. I'm with over 30 years, actually 32 years to be more precise, actually now over 32 years post-qualification experience dealing with all sorts of law, especially immigration and family law. So it's so itong show po natin is obviously to deal with any legal issues that concern you, but with practical tips, I hope. And tonight's topic natin is not any different in that it is absolutely something that concerns a lot of people. And in fact, this is itong topic po natin. I chose this from one of our viewers who actually wrote in, and this is especially for you, Rose. So hopefully you are watching and you're tuning in for throughout. It's to do with unmarried partner visas. So basically, you are in the United Kingdom or indeed outside the United Kingdom, and you can't marry or you don't wish to marry, but you want to enter the United Kingdom to join your partner in the UK. Yung pong topic nga natin ngayon. So it's quite a big topic, especially because of change to the partner definition nga, which we discussed a couple of Thursdays nga ago. So they've changed it so that it also can include people who are not necessarily living together. But again, as usual, with immigration, it's a bit more complex than that. So yun ang topic po natin ngayon. And I hope that you will join me. And by all means, please do make comments kung meron kayong mga questions, or indeed kung meron kayong gusto nga lang nyo kaming batiin, which I always like. So please do put in post your comments nga, say hello. I know there are a few people I want to certainly say hello to, especially later on. So yeah, so it's a big topic, and as usual, we're going to tackle it always with practical tips, and always we're always trying out to be to ensure that it deals now with the questions that you have. So this is especially for you, Rose. So hopefully you are you're watching. So before we launch into our big topic, as usual, big topic tonight, we're going to take a very short break. So don't go away. Join me in a few takes. Saglit lang po. Welcome back po sa inyong lahat. Welcome. Tonight's Lira in Law. Pangalan ko po, Lira Simon Kabatbat. I am a practicing solicitor in the United Kingdom, and as I've said, we're broadcasting live tonight, the 11th of April 2024. It's astonishing how fast time goes. Anyway, topic po natin ngayon, without much of ado, is unmarried partner visas. And this is courtesy of a viewer nga, ang pangalan niya Rose, who asked the question. So I'm happy to deal with it. So hopefully you're watching, Rose. Now, unmarried partner visas. So, a starting point, of course, hindi nga kayo kasal. you are in the United Kingdom or indeed outside the United Kingdom and you want to join yung partner nyo nga dito. Problema, it doesn't have to be a problem. You've chosen, no, na hindi nga kayo kasal. Can you still do it? The answer, subject to a few conditions nga, or actually not a few, but quite strict conditions, subject to some certain conditions, yes, you can. Which is a good start, because normally I say, oh, no, you can't, but you may be able to do this. But yes, you can. Starting point po natin, hindi nga kasal. Now, let's look at two different but similar scenarios nga. Applying from outside the United Kingdom, sabihin natin galing nandun kayo sa Pilipinas, or you're applying in the United Kingdom because you're already here, and that was Rose's question. So let's tackle the applying from outside the United Kingdom. Sabihin natin nasa Pilipinas nga kayo. Now, kung hindi kayo nagsasama dahil nandito nga yung partner nyo, o nagsasama kayo dahil nandun nga siya, and you want to come into the United Kingdom, you want to accompany him or her into the United Kingdom, ano bang kailangan yung pakita? What are the things to watch out for? So una nga, status ng partner nyo. So, kung indefinite siya, na Briton siya, o kaya skilled worker visa nga siya, pwede kayo magpasok ng application. But there are certain conditions or there are certain categories na hindi nga pwede. For example, domestic work visa. Hindi nga yung pwede kung hindi nga kayo kasal. Actually, it's a bit more complex also than that. And now also, difficulties anyway with dependents in relation to cares, kasal kayo o hindi. But una nga, status ng partner nyo. Briton ba sila? O kaya indefinite ba sila? O indeed, skilled worker nga sila dito. Now, kung papasok nga kayo dito, Briton yung partner nyo o kaya indefinite siya, then kailangan nyo nga English language. A1 test, which is not it's a much lower level nga ng B1 test, and also you need to be able to show income ng sponsor nyo now. And that's one of the things that next week yung pag-uusapan natin maigi, in quite a lot more detail, because it's changing actually next Thursday, the 11th of I've said today, throughout 11th of April. Hindi po, of course, the 4th of April nga ngayon, but next week, that's why I have it in mind, 11th of April. 11th April, next Thursday po, magbabago nga yung batas in relation to income, going up from 18,620 to 29,000 pounds. But let's not deal with that tonight for the moment, So, income nga ng asawa nyo, partner nyo, dahil hindi nga kayo kasal. So you need to satisfy the income requirement, which at the moment, as of today, is still 18,600, but in a week's time, it's gonna go up to 29,000 pounds. Kung ang sasamahan nyo nga dito, Briton o indefinite leave to remain. This is a different requirement nga kung skilled worker, yung partner nyo nga dito. Kailangan nyo din pakita accommodation in the United Kingdom. Na meron kayong bahay, meron kayong tutuluyan dito. It doesn't have to be something you owned. It can be something rented. It can be a room, in a house, for example, or it could be a room sa magulang nyo. So that's quite it's a wide-ranging, if you like, possibilities. Yung nga lang, kailangan yung kwarto. Kung meron kayong kwarto, it must be yours only. So it's something that you alone will be occupying with your partner. Evidence of relationship, we'll have a look at that in a moment nga. And of course, yung nga, as I said, TB test, tuberculosis, wala kang TB if you're coming into the UK as a partner of someone who has indefinite leave to remain, so someone with settled status or Briton nga. Now, or indeed anything else, because you need to be able to show that you don't have TB and you're entering the United Kingdom with a visa for more than 6 months. Now, what happens if you, anong ebidensya ang kailangan ipakita? That depends in part in relation to kung nagsasama nga kayo sa atin, kung doon nga kayo nakatira pareho, o kaya sasamahan nyo nga siya dito, and you join him or her as a partner nga dito. So, evidence of relationship. This is probably one of the, if not the most important, condition nga. So, kung nagsama kayo, maybe a little bit easier. So meron kayong mga bills, o kaya meron kayong yung tinitirahan nyo, it's in joint names, o kung sa inyo nga mismo, o kaya it could be na meron kayong renta, no? Rental agreement nga sa atin, and maybe you have joint accounts together. Kung nagsasama kayo, that may not be so difficult to show. Pero kung nagsasama kayo, o kung hindi kayo nagsasama, kailangan yung pakita na yung relasyon nyo a minimum of 2 years. Okay? So unmarried partners must be able to show 2 years relationship akin to marriage. Nagbago po yung definition nila. So actually, pinaliwag nga nilang konti yung definition relatively recently as of the 31st of January 2024. So it's only a few months nga. No? So dati, kailangan makita nagsasama nga kayo. Kung hindi kayo nagsasama, hindi nyo mapapakita, hindi kayo bibigyan ng visa as a partner, as a married partner nga. But ngayon, nagbago na. So as of the 31st of January. So ngayon, kailangan nyo nga pa rin pakita na meron kayong relasyon and the relationship is spanning at least 2 years, but it must be akin to marriage. So it makes a massive difference to some people, especially kung nandun nga kayo sa Pilipinas dahil wala nang divorce sa atin. So sabihin natin, gusto nyo pumasok dito. Meron kayong, ang partner nyo dito nakatira. Hindi kayo nagsasama dahil dito siya nakatira, doon kayo nakatira sa atin. Hindi kayo pwedeng walang divorce sa atin. So you can't also get an annulment for whatever reason, no? So you are unable to marry in the Philippines. Okay? If you're not able to get an annulment nga, and of course, divorce hindi nga posibilidad. Ibig sabihin, you can't also enter the United Kingdom as a fiancé because you can't marry in the United Kingdom within 6 months of arriving. Hindi nga din kayo nagsasama. So, hindi nga posibilidad yung spouse because you can't get married. Hindi posibilidad yung fiancé because you can't get married within 6 months of arriving in the UK. Hindi kayo nagsasama ng 2 years dahil nandito siya, nandun kayo sa atin. So, yung binago nila, the definition of a partner, can make a massive difference. So, yung nga, kailangan pakita pa rin na the relationship spans at least 2 years. Now, how do you do that? Okay? And we'll look at this evidence again, also again in relation to applicants in the United Kingdom. So, you do that by, say, kung nagpapadala siya sa inyo. Okay? Meron kang joint account. Gusto mo ba magsak ang pera? Bumili kayo ng bahay, pangalan yung pareho. O meron kayong mga anak. I mean, kung meron kayong mga anak, then that makes life quite a bit easier because the presumption is the relationship is there. No? So there are many things na pwedeng pakita. I mean, of course, you can provide photos together nga, ganoon. But photos generally doesn't have a lot of weight. Because photos can be falsified, for example. And sometimes it's also difficult kailangan nakuha itong yung picture, no? So, kung ang kaso nyo nga, ang sitwasyon nyo nandun kayo, nandito siya, so, and you don't really have a lot of evidence, then make sure nga that you now start nga gathering evidence. So, kung wala nga kayong bank account, open one. No? Kung yung rental agreement nyo nasa pangalan mo nga lang dahil kung nasa Pilipinas, ask if it can be made into joint names, for example. No? Kung pinapadalang ka nga, make sure that you keep the receipts. Ganoon, no? Especially kung wala nga kayong mga anak. So all those things go towards evidencing your relationship over 2 years. No? So as I say, the good news is because of that change, kung gusto nyo pumasok nga dito, so you can show a relationship akin to marriage, like a marriage, a minimum of 2 years, you can do that kahit hindi nga kayo nagsasama, which is great news. Now, I mean, let me just read to you actually the new law. Actually, I'll read to you the old law against the new law. So makikita niyo yung diferensya, no? Ito yung luma, no? Old law. Sabi doon, a person, that is the sponsor, who's been living together with the applicant in a relationship akin to marriage or civil partnership for at least 2 years prior to the date of application. Yung lumang batas, definition of an unmarried partner. Panibagong batas, as at the 31st of January, sabi dito, where the applicant and their partner are not married or in a civil partnership, they must have been in a relationship similar to a marriage or civil partnership for at least 2 years before the date of application. So notice the difference. Ang diferensya po, the living together. The second, the new law, the current law nga, does not have the living together section. So, as I've said, that can take particular significance nga for people who are in the Philippines and in the United Kingdom. Now, Rose, ang question po niya, applying from inside the United Kingdom. Now, is it also applicable in the United Kingdom? Absolutely po, no? Anong kailangan niyo pakita? So sabihin natin si Rose may visa nga siya dito. Let's say skilled worker, no? Gusto niyang palitan dahil either mawala na yung trabaho niya o gusto niya nang palitan because she wants a bit more perhaps flexibility nga. So she wants to change from the current visa nga niya to something that allows her to stay in the United Kingdom based on that relationship. The answer is generally yes, you can do that. Again, it goes back to the same thing. Kailangan yung pakita na yung relationship nyo is at least 2 years and it's like a marriage, but you don't have to be living together. Now, I'm particularly excited nga about the applicability of this to some of my clients. That marami akong makalayante, living in sila, no? And sometimes yung partner nila hindi nga nasa London. A lot of my clients are London-based, but doesn't have to be. I have a fair few clients certainly in Manchester and indeed all over the country. Birmingham and actually even Newcastle nga. So I have fair few clients nga outside London. But let's say na either you're from outside London, nandito ang partner nyo sa London, or the other way around. Nandito kayo sa London, yung partner nyo nasa Newcastle. Hindi natin. And you're not living together in the sense of, not in the formal sense. So pagka day off nyo, umuwi kayo sa kanya, o kaya pagka holidays, umuwi kayo, no? So you are in a relationship akin to marriage. You're sharing your resources. Meron kayong joint account, for example, no? Kung meron kayong tinitirhan, no? That's yours. Yung nga lang umuwi ka doon at weekends nga lang dahil meron kang trabaho nga sa London. So it is you're then in a relationship akin to marriage, no? And minimum nga of 2 years. Now, if you're not living together, okay, when you make an application nga to the Home Office, it's especially important kung nandito nga kayong pareho sa England nga, no? Na sabihin nyo bakit. And usually, there's a valid plausible reason, and that's normally yung nga dahil ibang nandito kayo sa London, nandun siya sa Newcastle, for example, and that's the reason why you may not be living together. Although there's argument to be made that you're actually still living together, it's just you're not there for most of the time because of employment. But anyway, you can now, with the new definition, also say, oh no, we are in a relationship akin to marriage because tignan nyo, we're sharing resources, lagi kami nakikita, sometimes siyang nagpapadala sa pamilya ko, with my, maybe even the tenancy agreement is in joint names, for example, that doon ka naman tumutuloy at weekends or indeed during holidays, no? So all those things kailangan ipakita. Now, sabihin natin visa mo nga, skilled worker route, Rose, no? Gusto mong palitan nga yun, anong kailangan mong pakita, no? They're very similar to the one to the conditions na kailangan yung pakita pagkapapasok kayo in the UK. Apart from, of course, you don't need the TB test, for example, the tuberculosis test, because you're in the United Kingdom, you don't need to show it. Now, accommodation, kailangan yung parang pakita na meron kang tutuluyan nga dito, kailangan yung parang pakita nga that yung income requirement ng niya at saka ikaw, no? The other tataas nga yung income requirement from 18,000 to 29,000 pounds, no? But because you're in the UK, legitimately, no? May trabaho ka nga dito, you can join yung income mo sa income niya. So that may make life a little bit easier kung mababa ang income niya. Under 29,000 is of course a lot of money. So kailangan niyo pa rin pakita very, very similar things, no? Kung nandito ka as a skilled worker, it could be done already the B1 English language, which means mas mataas yun sa A1 or A2 na usually kailangan yung pakita in relation to the unmarried partner visa. So again, no, kung hindi nga kayo kasal, pero nagsasama kayo, o kahit hindi kayo nagsasama, yung nga lang you are in a relationship akin to marriage, a minimum of 2 years, you can still make an application as an unmarried partner. So pwede mong palitan yung visa mo from a skilled worker to that of an unmarried partner. Now, sabihin natin, you tick all those boxes, magpapasok na nga kayo, anong makukuha nyo kung nagpasok kayo, if you're successful with your application, either in country or from out country, from the Philippines, sabihin natin, no? Anong bibigay sa inyo? Ang visa bibigay sa inyo, pareho nung spouse visa. There's actually no difference between the two. Ang visa bibigay sa inyo is a partner visa for 2.5 years. Okay? So 2.5 years, pwede kayong magtrabaho nga dito, gusto nyo mag-aral, hindi problema, gusto nyo mag-aral at saka magtrabaho, hindi nga din problema, uwi kayo sa atin, balik kayo dito, hindi nyo kailangan panibagong visa. So it's actually a very good visa to have. You should not get money from the government though, okay? So no recourse to public funds. But otherwise, it's a very a generous visa. No, it allows you not to work, no limit. Allows you to study again, no limit. Combination of the two. O kung ayaw magtrabaho, okay din. As long as, of course, you continue to satisfy, especially later on, the 29,000 income requirement. So it's a very good visa actually to have. Now, after 2.5 years, ano na mangyayari? You can apply for another 2.5 years. Now, pagka 5 taon na kayo, no, with that kind of visa, 5 years to remain in the UK as a partner, bar other things, you can make an application then for indefinite leave to remain, okay, for settlement status. Kung of course, ang sponsor nyo nga is Briton nga or indefinite leave to remain. If you're joining someone nga who is under skilled worker route, of course, dependent kanila, and you make an application. At the same time, they make applications for extensions or indefinite leave to remain. So, but if you are here, you've joined someone nga who's a British national nga, o kaya British citizen, o kaya indefinite leave to remain, so settled status dito, 5 years na kailangan makita. So 2.5, extension ulit, 2.5 na naman, so 5 years na. And then you should be able to get indefinite leave to remain, which is settled status. Now, kung asawa nyo o partner nyo nga asawa nyo nga dito, later on, you married, let's say, no, and you married someone who is a British citizen in the United Kingdom, you can then make an application for naturalization without having to wait the usual 1 year if you are married to someone who is a British citizen. But that changes again. So don't kailangan makita kasal nga kayo at that point. And that's 5 years down the line. So it is actually a very good visa to have. And the change to the partner definition, I think, can make quite a difference to applicants nga in the United Kingdom. So it's something absolutely you should consider. And often nga, it's a great question from Rose dahil ang mga tao, there's an assumption always, and that that kailangan nyo kasal, no? Na pagkapapasok nga kayo dito. But that's not the case. That's not been the case for a long time. And certainly recently, as I've said, as of the 31st of January, the definition of partner has also widened a little bit. But yung nga, just be careful though, hindi ibig sabihin na kung boyfriend, girlfriend nga kayo, you're dating na pwede yung gamitin to. Kailangan nyo pa rin pakita that you are in a relationship akin to marriage, a minimum of 2 years. And they want to see evidence. Yeah? Hindi nga lang to basta-basta. Your say-so may not be enough. Photographs is unlikely to be enough. No? You need something more formal. So, kung wala nga kayong joint account, ang payo ko, open a joint account. Yung accommodation nyo, change it to joint names. Okay? Kung meron kayong pinapadalan sa atin, no, maybe ask them to every so often send the money, no? Because otherwise, so it shows that you are yung partner nyo is also committed to your family members sa Pilipinas, no? So it can be a mixture of quite a lot of things na pwede nyo pakita. But importante po meron kayong ebidensya, because when they say 2 years, they mean 2 years. They don't mean 18 months nga, they do mean 2 years. And ilista nyo yung ebidensya nyo. So practical tips po, no? Unang-una, statement. Para bang affidavit, no? I don't mean bank statements, but statement nyo. Kailangan sabihin doon, explain yung situation nyo. If you don't want to make a statement, explain it as part of your representations. But there must be something. Kailangan ipakita, kailangan sabihin doon in a little bit more detail, kailangan kayo nagkita. I mean, it's on the application form anyway. Pero ang payo ko, put it in a statement format because it's a bit easier to read. You can give also a bit more information. So, kailangan kayo nagkita, no? Were you introduced, for example? Kung nandun kayo, nandito sila, how do you conduct your relationship? You know, probably making phone calls every day, at least, once, probably more times, no? Are you making contact nga by WhatsApp, no? O nagfa-Facebook nga kayo? Umuwi ba siya? No? Umuwi siya sa kayo tumutuloy, no? When was the last time? So, it's for you to show, always for you to show that indeed this relationship has been ongoing a minimum 2 years. It doesn't matter na hindi nga kayo kasal. Kung nandun kayo sa Pilipinas o hindi ko nandito kayo, there could be a reason why you're not also marrying, other than you don't want to marry. That also means some people decide na they don't wish to marry. And it doesn't have to be. So, pero kung may nga dahilan, so kung kasal nga kayo sa atin, or for whatever reason you can't get the divorce, sinubukan nyo nga, you can't get the divorce, that's why you're still unmarried nga ngayon, say so. Explain nyo nga, no? Because the Home Office approaches things fairly traditionally, no? So kung hindi kayo kasal, they wonder, bakit hindi kayo kasal? Rather than, it's a choice. So, ingat nga kayo. I say this all the time, that evidence is king, okay? It's for you to prove na talaga nagsasama nga kayo o kahit hindi kayo nagsasama, there is a relationship akin to marriage, like a marriage, a minimum of 2 years. Sa inyo yun, the onus of proof is yours. Kailangan yung pakita po yun. And if you get a refusal, it could be because it's insufficient evidence. If it's insufficient evidence, then you may want to either appeal it if you think there's in fact, there was enough evidence, or you may wish to make another application with better evidence. But that's something to bear in mind. Pero pag kung yung nga mangyari, ma-refuse nga kayo, before you do that, you should really seek legal advice. Because the way you go, so another application may be frankly pointless if there are certain things that you can't really, you can't really cover with just an application. You may want to pursue an appeal, for example. But yung abogado nyo should be able to advise you which is the better route. So the good news, Rose, is yung question mo sa akin, unmarried partner, pwede ba kung hindi kayo kasal? Yes, absolutely you can, but beware of the conditions nga, kailangan yung pakita. And as I say, first tip ko, prepare a statement. Para bang affidavit ng itsura. Sabihin nyo nga doon, kailangan nakita. So, but also be factual about it, no? There's no, you can of course say that yes, of course you want to pursue family life in the UK, nahihirapan nga kayo, but don't overload on the kind of, on the mushy stuff, no? Gusto nang makita nga, what is your evidence, no? Present it to them professionally. Anong ebidensya nyo? Anong kailangan yung pakita? Nasaan? Kung meron kayong mga dokumento na hindi nga, it's in Tagalog, sabihin natin, make sure you get it translated, no? Because they will they do not assume na mabasa nga nila. If it's in Tagalog, it's actually part and parcel of the evidence requirements. If it's in a foreign language, there should be formal translation nga. So, but the good news is at least it's not a no, immediately. You can make an application. Kailangan nyo nga lang mag-ingat ng konti. Now, I hope that you've enjoyed that. I always enjoy oral topics nga, and I hope you enjoy it as much, a little bit as or as much as if you enjoy it as much as I discuss it. Then certainly that's already a bonus. But hopefully, Rose, that was of use to you. Let me know, if you have any other questions. Now comes my favorite part of the show. Now it's alam ko na it's I like the whole thing. Of course I do. But my favorite is yung mga Batian, the Batian section. And actually, we have a special Batian section, segment ngayon. So, let's have a look because it's someone's birthday yesterday. No? So, tingnan natin. Sino babati sa atin? Tingnan mo. Okay, so tingnan natin. Egay, the guy. Egay, the guy, no? And Justin is his sidekick. Happy Thursday, sabi po niya, and Easter. Yeah, no. Hopefully you all had a good Easter break, you know, to Attorney Lira and to the viewers. No? I work from home today. Good. Justin and I are on the bus now. He's on the bus and he's listening to us. Oh, looking forward to lots of learning again and to Attorney Lira's lovely voice. Egay, the guy. Egay, kamusta po? Kamusta? And love to Justin. He is one of the cutest voice. No? And, I think yung first show nga natin, pero nagsalita nga si Egay, the guy, with Justin. So I caught sight of his beautiful little voice. Now, galing, Marian, Miss Paner! Hi, Miss Paner! Oh, she's lovely. Hello po, Attorney, sabi niya. At sa lahat, happy Thursday po. Happy Thursday, Miss Paner. Did you have a good Easter? I hope you had a good, I hope you had at least a break, you know? So, with any luck, a little bit. I mean, Easter, of course, is important, no? Especially if you're celebrating Easter. But I hope you also had a bit of a break. Ma'am Cora, binabati tayo. Happy Thursday po niya. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, Ma'am Cora. Happy Thursday, Attorney Lira, and everyone. Maganda at masayang Huwebes sa lahat na sumusubaybay sa very informative immigration corner ni Lira in law. Oh, she's lovely, Ma'am Cora. She is so lovely. You know? She's just amazing, Ma'am Cora. I've met her. I've had the pleasure of meeting Ma'am Cora. Now, so Miss Rafael. Now, I'll tell you something about Miss Rafael. Galing ba? Emmeline Rafael. Hello, good evening, sabi po niya, Attorney Lira, and she's feeling good. Look, she's all caps. And everyone, happy Thursday again to you all. Miss Rafael's birthday was yesterday. You know? Happy birthday po. Happy birthday po. She's still. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday po, Miss Rafael. I hope you had a good day yesterday, no? And that you had lots and lots of presents, you know? And love to you, no? Mwah, Miss Rafael. She's so lovely. And I had the pleasure again of meeting her. What, a couple of years ago, another birthday nga. She really, Miss Rafael, Ma'am Cora, they put me to shame. They look so young. It's quite so thank you. No, thank you, Miss Rafael. No, and I'm sorry to out your birthday, no, live. But I hope you had a great time. Now, thank you po, no, for all your comments and hellos. Again, if you have any comments, we'll always try and get to it, no, during our broadcast. Now, so we're going to take a very short break, no. Saglit lang po. Hopefully you'll join me again, and then we'll deal with your questions. We had some really big ones. Okay, so see you soon. Welcome back po. Welcome again to Lira in Law. I'm your host, Lira Simon Kapatpat. Solicitor po ko in the United Kingdom. And of course, we are broadcasting live as usual on a Thursday evening, the 4th of April. not the 11th of April, which I was kept going on about, for at the beginning of our show. So so I'm your host tonight. Thursday, the 4th of April for Lira in Law. Now, we are now on going to deal with our question and answer segment, and we have some really good ones. We usually have good ones, but particularly not tonight. So tingnan po natin. We had some really big questions. So tingnan ko nga. Okay. First question po natin, galing to kay John P, Hello, sabi po niya, I'm currently in the UK on a skilled working visa and plan to sponsor my wife from the UAE as my dependent. Okay? My visa is valid until the last week of June 2024. And although my company intends to renew it, I'm unsure about potential new regulations that may impact on my wife's application. Should I proceed with her visa application now or wait for a visa renewal? Do you provide assistance with such matters? And what are the associated costs? Thank you, John. Yes, absolutely. Just email us, John, and we'll email you the details nga on cost. Depends really on what the facts are. But when you email us also your telephone number, and then we'll give you a buzz if we need a bit more information. But let's deal with your question. So should you make an application? So maybe so John has a visa at the moment, skilled worker route, and he wants to know if he should make an application now, simply delay it, because we're already April, and until he's actually extended his leave to remain. I take the view, especially with the changes that are now in play and likely to come into place about with immigration and immigration rules, that if you can do it now before it changes. And it's in case the change negatively impacts the plan. So although we're now April, yeah, we are still April. If you make an application now, it may well be that she's in the United Kingdom by, say, May, or indeed just before your visa is due to expire. Now, the visa she will get will, of course, tally with yours, John. And when that, it means then that when she's in the United Kingdom and you make an application, you need to include her in the application. So the upshot of it is, if I were you, I would make the application sooner rather than later. You never know, how things change. Your circumstances may change, your employment may change. The sooner she's here, the better, I would say. And also, of course, bear in mind, she can work when she's in the United Kingdom, dependent on a skilled worker route. So even if she's here 1 month and she decides, that she's going to work during that time, then you have an extra income. So if I were you, I'd do it. But email. I'll email you if you don't email me first. I'll give you my email details now later on, and by all means, I'll email you any costs associated with such an application. So hopefully that was helpful. Now, tingnan natin. Okay, anonymous, no? Pwede po bang i-combine 2 non-salaried work ko under category for a spouse visa? More than 6 months na po ako nagtatrabaho sa 2 job ko. Salamat po. This I like this question because it allows me to unpack a few things. Yung nga sabi niya, kung anong viewer nga natin, pwede bang i-combine 2 non-salaried work ko under category A for spouse visa? Now, first step po is category A. Anong ibig sabihin na? So pinag-uusapan po natin nga yung question po niya is to do with income, and income is always it's an important factor nga kung ang application is to enter the United Kingdom, say as a spouse or indeed an unmarried partner. And income is looked at. There are different categories. There are categories A really through category E. So there are different things. Category A, yung sinasabi nga ng viewer natin ito, is to do with there are 2 types within category A, salaried or non-salaried. So, salaried is basically that. So, kung nagtatrabaho nga kayo, sabihin natin nasa ospital kayo o abogado nga kayo, no? Nagtatrabaho nga kayo, meron kayong you pay tax by PAYE, you have an employer, binibigyan ka ng ang sweldo mo every buwan or every week, you know? Then you are clearly in a salaried employment. Okay? Now, non-salaried employment just means nga, for example, kung meron kayong, you get paid on an hourly basis. No? Kung di kayo, so your income is dictated by the hours that you work. It's still employment, but they classify it as non-salaried employment under category A. So for example, categories are actually up to G, not E. A through to G. So E, for example, category E is to do with pensions. So yun, kailangan yung tignan. So those different categories, you need to be able to show, satisfy the income requirement. So question po can you combine two non-salaried employment to make up the income requirement, which at the moment, if you're joining someone who is British or has indefinite leave to remain, is 18,600. Okay? 18,600, at least at the moment. In a week's time, on the 11th of April, magbabago na yon. You need to be able to show 29,000 pounds. Okay? But the good news is for our viewer nga, you can combine it. In fact, you can combine three, as long as you've been working in this non-salaried employment a minimum of 6 months. Okay? So kung tatlong trabaho nyo, sabihin natin you are working for, W.H. Smith. I don't know why I'm thinking about W.H. Smith or W.H. Smith. You're working also for Boots. You're also working for Specsavers. Because I went to the optician recently, so I remember them. So those three employment, you're getting paid on an hourly basis, and the total at the moment is 18,600. That's fine. So you can combine them, pero nga, you need to be able to show 6 months employment in the by your employer, ang classification nga non-salaried employment. But non-salaried employment just means you get paid on an hourly basis. Now, I'm going to show you, and this is especially for you because great question nga, I'll show you in fact how you calculate ito. So this straight off from the Home Office website. So you may want to just print that out, So gross income from non-salaried employment will be counted on the same basis as income from salaried employment, where the person has been with the same employer for 6 months or more at the date of the application. Then there's a bit more information, but towards the bottom, papakita ko sa inyo, how do you calculate? Because that's people get confused with calculation. So titingnan nyo, I put it in bold just for you, to calculate this annualized average for non-salaried employment in category A. In the following calculation should be used. So this is actually what you need to show. This is how you calculate it. Total gross income from employment held throughout the 6-month period, divided by 6, multiply it by 12, equals income from non-salaried employment. So hopefully that's helpful to you. That can be counted towards the financial requirement. So apply that formula. If you're making the application still this week, the income you need to satisfy, if you are, as I said, British or someone with indefinite leave to remain, then ang income na kailangan pakita is 18,600. Okay? Next week, 11th of April, tataas na po yun, 29,000 pounds. And then after that, it's gonna go up again. Hindi pa nga lang yan sasabi sa atin kung kailan, but it's gonna go up again. Eventually, it's going to go up to, I think the last thing they announced was it's in due course going to go up to 38,700 pounds. But anyway, at the moment, 29,000 nga kailangan mong pakita from next week. So kung hindi mo yung maaabot, alam mo hindi mo maaabot nga yun with the income that you have, ang payo ko, make the application now. Hopefully, you have all the relevant the relevant information also. Now, bear in mind, you can make the application, of course, online. Tapos, you can then submit the documents in support a little bit later on. Pero bago niya kukunin yung biometric niya, So, kung ready na kayo, ang payo ko, do not delay if there's an issue with income, because from 18,600 to 29,000 pounds is a huge leap, no? Massive actually, no? Kung gusto mong i-email ko yun sa'yo, yung extract na yun, at saka I'm happy to send you the link, no? But ito nga, make sure you do your calculation, okay? At saka pagka nagpasok yung application, even put that somewhere. You've calculated, you satisfy the income requirement because, no? And put down ito and how you've calculated it. It helps actually. It just clarifies things. But don't forget, kailangan pakita, of course, ebidensya. Again, ebidensya. Evidence is king. So kailangan pakita nga yung payslip mo, and of course na bumabagsak sa account mo yon. Hindi nga lang payslip mismo. Kailangan yung pakita na talaga nakukuha mo. So evidence not just of the income, but evidence that you're receiving the income. So yung bank statement. So if you're submitting more than one bank account, no, bank statement from an account, make sure isama nyo nga din yung bank statement mo na dun bumabagsak ang income. No? So hopefully that's of help to you. But as I say, kung meron kong question, and I'm happy to send this nga, I'm more than happy to send you the link. Yun tingnan mo, it's in one of the appendices in the home office guidance. So mahirap nga lang makita usually, and sometimes when you're looking at the A through to G categories of income, showing income, napakagulo. I mean, it's terrible. It's confusing for a lot of practitioners, no? So it's I'm not surprised that it's confusing for many. But yung nga, ikaw, tama ka, category A ka, it's non-salaried, tama ka nga din. So apply the formula. So hopefully that's of help to you. Now, I think meron pa nga yung mga questions. So tingnan ko nga ito. Okay. This one I like because it's actually relevant to one that we discussed, the topic last week. No, sabi po niya dito, I received my tourist visa, multi, no, for 6 months, valid until October 2024. What is the validity to enter the UK? Do I need to enter within 3 months, or can I enter before enter 5 months before the validity? No? Before the validity or after the validity? Okay, let's just unpack it a little bit. No, so maybe isa ka na, maybe isa na siya. Visa niya nakatatak na sa passport. No? For those of you who want to see what it looks like, have a look at our show last week. May mga picture nga, no? So pagka nakakuha kayo ng visit visa, there are two dates. There are two important dates. Yung starting, no, valid from, and then the expiry date. So nasa kaliwa yung valid from, and then nasa kanan nga yung expiry. And usually it's 6 months. Okay? Now, of course, it can be longer. Some people get 2 years, 5 years, 10 year multiple visit visa. So, sabihin natin 6 months nga binigay sa kanya. So, valid nga until October 2024. Now, ang sagot ito, you can come into the United Kingdom, multiple visa ka naman, anytime, as often as you want, until October 2024. Okay? So if you want to come into the UK in September, you can do that. But yung nga lang, kailangan mong lumabas nga, umalis dito by before your visa expires, on the day that your visa expires. So kung sabihin natin sa October 30, no, matatapos ng visa mo, kailangan umalis ka na dito 30 October. Now, unlike before, and we're talking about years and years ago now, that dati, pagka pumasok ka dito with a visit visa, 6 months tatak sa'yo, 6 months, as long as you enter the UK during that time, meron kang 6 months, no? Additionally, hindi na po yun ang batas. And that's not been the case for ages now. Okay? So, the validity date, the expiry date is the expiry of the time you can stay in the United Kingdom, subject to the usual 6 months, 180 days, no? So, ang sagot po ito, you can enter do I need to enter within 3 months? You can enter now, no? Or can I enter 5 months before validity? I think you probably mean the expiry, no? So you can enter the United Kingdom. Meron ka ng visa no? Meron ka ng visa. So dahil may visa ka na, pwede ka nang pumasok dito. But subject to 6 months per stay, no? So 180 days. And also, kung matatapos ang visa mo, October 2024, ibig sabihin, kailangan lumabas ka before bago matapos ang visa mo. Kung 30 October matatapos ang visa mo, then by 30 of October, ibig sabihin, kailangan lumabas ka na. Okay? So, if you come on the one day before your visa expires, then you have to go the following day. So, kung payo ko sa iyo, if you want to really, if you want to visit the United Kingdom, come now, no? And I hope you enjoy it. But beware your expiry date, October 2024, no? And sometimes mga tao nakakalimutan nga nila, no, natapos ng visa nila. So make sure that you don't, because kung matapos ang visa nyo, it's just a mistake, no, that can compromise any future applications. So be careful, be very careful nga. Now, so ano pang I think we may have some more questions. So tingnan nga natin. Let me just have a look question po natin dito. Okay, tingnan ko nga dito. Next question po natin. Let's have a look. Anong sabi? Can't find it in the moment. So tingnan ko. Ito. This is from Rose, whose question we featured. So, but let's read it, no? Pwede po bang magtanong about unmarried dependent visa in the United Kingdom? Ano po ba ito? Ano pong mga requirements? May anak po kami, pero hindi po kami kasal. So, Rose, this one is for you, no? So hopefully nanood ka, nakita mo nga. Pero kung meron ka mga questions, gusto mong malaman, especially yung panibagong batas nga to do with not having to live together as long as you are in a relationship akin to marriage, a minimum of 2 years. If you want to actually see the immigration rule, no, sabihin mo sa akin, and I'm more than happy, of course, to send that to you, to send you the link. And also send to you the new definition, as I say, of a partner. No? Now, so hopefully that's useful to you. I hope so. Anyway, sabihin mo sa akin kung anong nangyari, Rose. No? Now, tingnan ko kung meron pa tayong mga question. It could be that could be the last question. So sandali lang tingnan ko nga dito. I think so. I think that may be the last question natin. Let me just scroll through. By the way, no, kung meron kayong gustong bumati sa akin, please do. Dali. Let me just see. I think that could be our last question. Okay, yeah. So we ended on our feature question, which is Rose's question. Yung discussion po natin ngayon, which is the unmarried partner route. And definitely, it is a route. Hindi nga kayo kasal. So hopefully, you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed, imparting hopefully useful knowledge. It's always a pleasure, to be with you on a Thursday evening. So now, any questions po, contact us via our Facebook. All you have to do to find us is Douglas Simon Solicitors, Facebook nga, makikita nyo doon. Lira in Law, nandun yung segment po segment ko. You can email me, by all means do. Email po namin is LIL. I'm noted it as LIL, it's an abbreviation. Lira in Law, Lira in Law at Douglas to S, Douglas-Simon.com. Or visit our website, tingnan yung website namin for information. As usual, I always try and post nga yung pag-uusapan nga natin, any interesting questions, any comments nga, any news flash, nagbagong batas on Facebook and also on our website. And so, please feel free to visit. Feel free to download, have a look, share it, and of course, thank you po for keeping me company, and special thanks to the Facebook groups, admins at Filipino community groups for allowing us to post our videos and contents on their Facebook page. It's really I'm grateful. It's always ever so helpful. Thank you for doing all of that, and also of course again. I know I'm gonna annoy her, but I'll say it again. Happy birthday, Miss Rafael, Miss Emmeline Rafael. She is a lovely, lovely lady, and many happy returns. Birthday niya kahapon. Happy birthday. And next week, ang topic po natin, again, big ones, is the change. And it will the change to minimum income requirement. From next week, that is the 11th of April, magbabago na. Gone will be the 18,600. It will then be 29,000 pounds from the 11th of April. So titignan po natin, hindi lang nga yung income, but also kung hindi nga sapat yung income nyo, can you add, say, savings to it? No? What income is allowed to be looked at? Yeah? And what happens if you can't reach it? No, are there other things that you can show? Can you put forward third-party support? So again, big topic as usual. The usual nga, no, it will be a practical. We will also always start trying to cover the practical tips nga, no. So yun ang pag-uusapan po natin next week. But otherwise, gosh, time goes so fast, no. So fast. But again, salamat po for joining me tonight on the Thursday evening, our usual Lira in Law broadcast between 7:30 to 8:30. But it leaves me really to say, until next time po, I'm your host, Lira Simon Kabatbat, and until next time, same place at Lira in Law. Good night po.